All right, folks, Brian Blessing with Kenny White, KennyWhiteSports.com. Season preview for the Atlanta Falcons. We're fired up. We're ready to go with football. The interesting thing is, Kenny, this Atlanta team, the jury was out. Matt Ryan, is he sticking around? He's there. But the prospects for the Falcons, you think they had the Super Bowl one a few short years ago, and it got away from them. 7.5 over $1.40 season win total. Looking at 10-1 to win the division. And the running game is sketchy, and the defense is sketchy.
Yeah, this team's going to be well below average, Brian. New head coach Arthur Smith comes in as he was an offensive coordinator 2 years with Tennessee. I could have been the offensive coordinator of Tennessee. Just give it to Derrick Henry. He's got a big name, and you know, I just don't know if he's ready for this job. This is a big rebuilding job. Matt Ryan was barely better than an average NFL quarterback last year. You're right. There's not a lot of depth at running back. Offensive line is below average. Really, the offensive line is really horrendous, I think, one of the worst in football. And the defense is average to below average. So long year for this team. I have them at 6.2 wins. I lean to the under 7.5 with Atlanta.
Offensively, Julio Jones departs. Ridley's a really good wide receiver, but is he a one? You know, I mean, he had Jones on the other side, but he's a veteran now and he knows his way around. But I'd be really intrigued to get your rating on Kyle Pitts, the tight end. Everybody said this guy was a generational tight end. How did his numbers stack up for you historically with a tight end coming out of college?
Yeah, I loved watching him play at Florida. He's got great size, 6'6", 246. He's actually a very good blocker as well, but he's a great route runner with tremendous hands. I rated him 7/10 better than the average NFL player. Hayden Hurst was their returning starting tight end, 800 snaps last year. Hurst definitely was a good tight end. He caught 56 passes. So I do have Pitts starting over Hurst, but you know what? If he's not doing the job and he's not ready for the NFL right away, they got a decent guy to step in Hayden Hurst. I think they could play a lot of two tight end sets, as Arthur Smith did in Tennessee a lot last year as well.
Let me just ask you finally on Atlanta. You know, we talk like if Aaron Rodgers didn't show up, he did. But if Aaron Rodgers didn't show up, that Packers number comes down and it impacts the whole division. So one thing leads to another. With Atlanta, they've flattened out. Carolina gets Sam Darnold. New Orleans is still a well-rounded football team. We'll see the quarterback. They've played without Drew Brees before. And Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. From a regular season win total, don't you just start in the division and go, this is going to be tough sledding?
It's definitely going to be tough sledding, but Carolina is not that much better of a football team than Atlanta. I think the Saints and Buccaneers definitely are. We know the Buccaneers are. I think the Saints can be. Long odds on Atlanta, though. Minus 260 to make the playoffs, plus 210 if they get there. 2-1 shot. So they get about a 30% chance of making the playoffs. 10-1 on the division, 30-1 in the conference, 60-1 in the Super Bowl, and 50-1 to have the best record. So, hey, the odds are up there. They probably aren't even high enough, those odds. You'd have to give me a lot better odds for those things to happen.
Wrap it up. I agree with you, under 7.5. Your probably safer bet is playing the Pitts kid. His season receiving yards prop, it was like 924 yards, something like that. He might get there. Maybe you're better off playing the kid instead of the team.
Well, if Matt Ryan throws it over 600 times like he did last year, yeah, you're going to need to. But I think Arthur Smith's going to come in and try to grind these games out to a crawl. You'll see a lot of two tight end sets and a lot of running.
Glad you're with us. KennyWhiteSports.com, your preview of the Atlanta Falcons. Hoping you'll sign up. We've got season packages. We got you covered all season long at KennyWhiteSports.com.